Hey everybody, Ray's Warrior here, welcome back to another edition of Little Big Tutorials, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a simple gun shooting system. So let's go and check out what I mean. I'm just going to quickly debut my M1911 and let's go and see what we can do with this. So of course we can do basic things like shoot it around and stuff like that. We can reload it, and after we reach the actual maximum bullet count, it'll automatically reload as well. So let me go ahead and show you how it's done. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use my revolver for this demonstration. And the first thing we're going to go and do is we're going to be using the blaster handle, which is under special power-ups. This is one of the newer additions of Little Big Planet 3, and basically allows you to create your own power-ups, such as the Pumpinator or the Paintinator from Little Big Planet 1. And as you can see, we can also tweak this blaster handle, and for this case we're going to go ahead and make the actual grip set to a fist. That way it looks like we're actually holding on to the gun. And as of right now, we're just going to close it up. This is just a personal preference, but I don't really like to put any logic on the actual blaster handle itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and place down a piece of hologram. Set the brightness down a bit, and on the hologram, that's where we're going to actually put the microchip. So first off, let's go ahead and make sure the microchip is aligned with the barrel as much as possible. And there we go. Now, first thing we're going to need is a pulser, and we're going to be using that with a timer. And set this to 0.1 seconds and make sure it's set to reset every single time. Now, since it's not an automatic weapon, we're just going to go ahead and set the input action to, let's see, start count up. That way every time we press the trigger button, it's going to just go up once and then reset. Once and reset, just like that. Great. Now, for this one, we're going to have several conditions that are required before you can actually shoot it. So we're going to go ahead and place down an AND gate. And might as well just hook up the trigger button to the AND gate while we're at it. And then we're going to hook up the AND gate output to the timer. Just go ahead and make this a little bit bigger in anticipation. And okay, so the next step is we're going to actually need to put a counter down. And since this is a revolver, let's go ahead and make this set to 6 and hook the timer up to the counter. And we're going to go ahead and create another counter, and we're going to set this one to 1. And we'll be using that for the actual reload function later in a little bit, as you'll see. And one of the other conditions that needs to be met is that, of course, when we actually reach the the actual maximum target count, we won't be able to shoot anymore, because that means we ran out of ammo in our magazine, right? So we're going to go ahead and put a NOT gate and hook that up, and hook the NOT gate to this AND gate over here. That's going to be one of the conditions to shoot. So when you're not completely, full with ammo, then you're allowed to shoot. That's what that's saying. And that's going to be pretty much about it for the actual basic shooting mechanics right here. Next, work on the actual reloading of this. So, what we're going to go and need is an AND gate. And the reason we put this single target counter over here is because we're going to need to have a requirement of at least shooting 1 bullet before you can actually reload, because of course you don't want to be reloading indefinitely, of course. So that's why we have that there. And we're going to go ahead and put a controlinator down right here. And the reason for this is because we're going to actually need to press a button to reload. Now, because the square and circle buttons are already used, we're going to go ahead and use the triangle button. You also might want to be careful, because if you're in your level you have actual quests, or you're using the Organizatron, then you don't want to use the triangle button, because that's already going to be in use. So just be wary with that, and you can change around the controls later on if you want. So yeah, but for this case, we're going to use the triangle button, and make sure for the controlinator we set it to receiver and controlled by the nearest player. And basically it's just saying that, you know, since you're holding it, that's who's going to be actually controlling this. And so yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. You know, whenever we shoot one button and whenever we press triangle, that's going to initiate the controlinator sequence, or the reload sequence, sorry. Next, we're going to go and use a selector, and we're going to go ahead and hook up the AND gate to the second input on the selector, and let's go and bring out a timer. And whenever we actually initiate the reload sequence by going to the second selector, that's when this timer is going to turn on. And just bring this, let's bring the input action to the start count up, and bring this down to, let's try 1.9 seconds. That seems like a reasonable reload time. And so yeah, whenever this, whenever the full time goes up, then it's going to reset. It's going to reset this back to the input action number 1. It's going to reset the actual bullets that you shot. And that's going to be pretty much it for the reload. And now, since we won't be able to shoot when we're actually reloading, we're going to go and add a NOT gate. And when we're... oh, actually, no. Let's do it like this. So on the first selector, whenever the first selector is on, that's when we're going to actually be allowed to shoot. So whenever we're reloading and it switches to the second selector, we're not going to be given that ability to shoot anymore. So that's why we have that. Now let's go ahead and add a couple sound effects to this. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go and change this up a bit. So whenever we actually reach, you know, all of your, you know, bullets fired, we're just going to have it so that it reloads automatically. That way you don't have to, you know, stop shooting and then press triangle in order to reload when you're out of ammo. We're just going to have it reload automatically. So basically, whenever we reach the actual target count, that's going to be another condition that will cause it to reload. So we're going to change this up a bit and use an OR gate. And the reason we're using an OR gate is because we want this one, this triangle feature, to reload it. Or if you run out of ammo, then it'll automatically reload. And then just hook that up to the second selector input instead. Now, just for clarity, let's go ahead and put in some sound effects to change this up a bit, and that way we can actually hear what we're doing. And let's just use some basic ones. So let's go under launchers, and we'll use the gunshot one for now. Again, I encourage you guys to experiment with a lot of the different sound effects, you know, combining them and stuff like that, to actually create a good, you know, sounding gun. And let's just copy this over and create 2 sound effects right here for the initial reload the initial initiation of the reload. So let's go and go over to mechanisms. And personally, I like the rivet punch. Or actually, no. Let's go and use the stapler sound effect. And let's just go and increase the speed for that a little bit, so it sounds like, you know, we're actually ejecting the bullets. And then let's use this one, take that back to mechanisms, and we'll use, let's use the switch number 3 sound effect. Let's just increase the sound frequency for that. And whenever we're done reloading, so whenever the timer's up, that's when we're going to hear that sound effect, just like that. So let's just go and quickly test it out. Let's just save that. And something that a lot of people don't know is if you use the sticker and decoration edit tool, that's how you're going to be able to open up different microchips for, you know, whenever using a pumpinator or something like that. So yeah, let's just see and make sure that everything's working correctly. Actually, let me hover a little bit, or lock the screen. Now let's test it out. There you go. Can't shoot while reloading. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and add an emitter, and that's going to be what the actual projectile is going to be coming out. So let's go ahead and get out an emitter. And let's go and tweak this so that the linear velocity is set to, let's say, 50. That's a pretty good speed for a bullet, I guess. And we're going to set the input action to emit once, and the lifetime can be, it can stay at 5 seconds. And let's just change the destroy effect to disappear. And create effect, it'll stay up here. Now let's go ahead and get out the actual projectiles. Over here I have several different bullets already created. Let's go and use a 25 damage indicator right here. Yeah. Let me just go and delete the rest of these. And let's go ahead and let's go ahead and emit it. So just go over here, choose object. We're going to save just the bullet alone. And that's why I had you align the microchip up with a barrel the best you can earlier in the video, for this very reason. And now every time we shoot, of course, that's when the emitter is going to emit the bullet. Now let's go ahead and try it. So save it with your sack pocket capture tool, and let's test it. Okay, so we can see here with this bad guy that every time I shoot, it'll, of course, kill him. Oh, there we go. He's dead. That's why. So that's going to be pretty much about it. I'll go into depth later on with effects, how you can combine different sound effects and visual effects to make good explosions and good muzzle flashes and stuff like that. But until then, I'll catch you guys later. Make sure you leave a comment down below on what you would like to see in the future videos as well, and make sure you like and subscribe.